get the rest of them in here right quick.
We'll end up seeing that on the ground, I'm afraid.
What do you think we've lost with this building?
Oh, many, many dollars, many, many memories.
No door.
Just make sure that we don't.
Act like it's not there.
I think the prime lending rate has given the people a little more confidence in the economy overall, and I think they're now eager to. They don't believe that we're going into a depression now, that things are starting to normalize, and I think that they're going to. We're seeing a big influx in people calling, wanting to look at homes, and I think. We're anticipating it to last at least into 81 and possibly through 81.
That's right. This is
Hot foot tub. No. Have you? This is where you entertain your guests.
This is
And then I
Swedish,
guess-
right?
Six people.
Six people comfortably.
Oh, okay. Let's go look at that. Go there.
Voy a ir a casa de Villanueva a llevarle la ropa que me trajeron ayer y no nos demoramos.
A una casa, a casa de los Hernández. Vienen,
Hay unos que es albañil.
sí, todos quieren trabajar, todos vienen
Con las niñas, mientras ellos van a llevar. Está sabroso, ¿sí?
Ajá. Pues vamos ahí.
Un momentico, nada más que a llevarle la ropa y venimos enseguida, papi.
Siete.
¿Cuántos niños tienen?
Tienen locos, locos por trabajar, la verdad.
Así que ojalá que se pueda ayudar en eso.
Cosas que tenemos aquí que ellos les van a venir muy bien.
Nos vamos a ir a casa de los... Mami, tú... Dentro de un rato, no nos demoramos mucho.
Venimos enseguida. Dentro de un rato.
Buenas,
¿cómo
estamos?
estás?
Adelante.
¿Qué tal, vieja? ¿Cómo andas? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
¡Qué bueno! ¡Qué bueno!
Aquí le traemos unas cosas.
Ajá. Una ropa para Rafael y
Dale,
para
más,
ti.
siéntate.
2 cuadras y 6.
Son 2 cuadras de nosotros, no es un poquitico más. Son como...
¿Fue donde vive ella?
¿Te gusta? Ajá.
Yo creo que es la talla de Elsa.
Sí, a mí me parece que te va.
La camisa está muy bonita también. Ajá.
Esta camisa está muy bonita.
Menos estilo.
Bien, digo tonto.
Hay que si necesitan zapatos o medias.
Zapatos sí, porque nada más tengo nada más para nada más.
Zapatos no hace falta.
Hace falta un par de
Media
zapatos.
no.
¿Media tienes?
Media sí tengo.
¿Y tú tienes zapatos? ¿Qué cosa es lo que más necesitas tú también?
Pantalón o saya.
Pantalón o zapatos.
Run on him, Bob.
I'll follow you, Bob.
Everybody leave this floor. Everybody leave.
Night supposedly exactly.
And that was the last time you talked to her before.
Yes, that was the last time we talked.
That's what I was.
Okay.
Justice has been done, and we have felt all along that the AFT had the legal and the moral right to bargain for the teachers. We've been ready to go to the bargaining table since January. Our packet is ready, and we will begin negotiations as soon as possible.
It means that we will begin immediately negotiating with the AFT as the recognized bargaining agent of the teachers, and at the next board meeting I will recommend that the board officially recognize the AFT as the bargaining agent.
Free at the end. Duty-free lunch.
Yeah. I noticed that the whole section means to be free. Those holes didn't go too long.
I guess it is, Bruce.
Yeah. I hope not. The southbound on this says go back just 20 minutes.
White paper if you want.
We get it after that. Now, he's got his own plan.
You got both charges there? There's my copy in there.
It's getting pretty irritating to us, and I know that to the public and to the people, because people are calling all the time, afraid to let their what to do about their children. I don't know what to tell them. These children aren't doing anything wrong. They're playing in their own yards, and somebody drives down the alley and jumps out of the car in the nude and grabs a child, and the child screams for her mother, and she sees the child driving off. There's not much she can do about it. And thankfully, the child wasn't hurt any worse than she was.
They are anomalies, strange coincidences that do happen to exist. No, not really.
We're just a little town out here, and we got our own police department, and we got our own water crew, and we got our own electricians, and when something needs to be fixed, we just go and fix it. No problems.
Somebody want in there?
Get it? Yeah. 4 will be ready, and we're having problems. Even though they're doing an excellent job, we're having problems getting copies Xeroxed, And it's our feeling that if we're going to have any semblance of an orderly adjournment and avoid a total chaos this evening, the only thing to do is to adjourn and come back Monday. Pardon? Right. I see no reason why we shouldn't be able to, Bob.
So, if you'll get with me right after we do adjourn.
Hear you. Not come, but if your secretary is where she can. No. No. The ayes have it, and that'll be the order.
I know there are several forces under several generals who are operating with some cooperation of some of the Iraqi forces, not forces but Iraqi backing, and some other nations backing in the Middle East.
But there are a number of military men who perhaps were trained here, trained under the Shah, who are outside that country now and might be prepared to go back in and operate the tremendous amount of military equipment that still must be inside that country.
The recruitment is on and has been on, and most of these generals are gathering in Europe, and in fact many of them have already traveled to Iran, Iran and Kurdistan, Azerbaijan, Khuzestan and back. In fact, Bakhtiyar had done so, and many other Iranian generals have done the same, I have
They've
heard.
been back inside Iran?
Inside Iran and out, yes.
Oh, here she is. Have you met Grandma? Janet, Grandma Bristol.
Pull it back.
I'd like to be the first one on since I've spent 2.5 years trying to get them to open the test. Of course, we've had signs and various campaigns, talked to highway department officials, anything we could possibly do to speed up the project.
Mr. Murphy or Mr. Davis.
Every agency where the federal government might audit any of
The governor's office, the proposed language would not be in the resolution anyway.
Which requires towers very similar, or to see if there's an existing tower that would serve their purpose.
Look into, we'd probably have about as much luck.
Been some difficulties developed since noon. I don't see any reason why we can't. The remainder of the bills are supposed to be ready.
All we have is going to be 2 black males. They were last at 89th and Sooner on the northeast.
Handicapping the fire department.
Jack, which station are you talking about that has a...
Well, fire station's at Broadway. This is
This is on the 24th. Any other discussion? Any reading? We will consider the resolution.
Well,
That's
the
what I'm
present
asking, the
salaries are
present
in-
salaries.
I move we adjourn for lunch.
Well, there's a motion.
Anywhere from 3 to 10 days after that tick exposure, they develop headache, chills, fever. About 3 days after the onset of those symptoms, then they develop a rash that usually involves the palms of the hands, soles of the feet, ankles, and wrist area. And it progresses. That's unlike measles in severity and distribution of the rash also.
Measles you wouldn't find like on the palm.
You're not as likely to find the rash on the palms of the hands. The basic thing is that the distribution of the rash.
Well, I'm going to go to, excuse me, go ahead. Don't go away.
You're walking down the stairs with a smile on your face. What's your reaction to his decision?
Well, obviously, I'd be very pleased. I think the court did what was appropriate, and I think really the only thing that they could do under the circumstances.
Well, we're very disappointed. We're hopeful that
that we'll find some method to force compliance.
Get through this work down here. Adios. Say, I won't say I didn't meet you. You appear to be a good man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Your testimony was good.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, gentlemen.
Brett? This is Bella Shaw from News Center 4. How are you?
Just fine. How are you, Bella?
Doing great. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
What's the score?
Haven't seen the scoreboard yet, but I'm looking.
Television has become so important to our lives that we're now able to answer the phone on it. But of course there may be some television shows like Oklahoma football that you may not want to interrupt. Bella Shaw, News Center 4.
This house is for sale for about $55,000. If you wanted to buy it at the current 13% interest rate, your monthly payment would be over $600. But under a new bond loan program, you could buy the house and pay less than $500 a month. Construction crews may find new markets for their homes when this low-interest money becomes available on July 14th. The money's offered by the Oklahoma County Home Finance Bond Authority. Officials don't yet know what the interest rate will be, but they estimate the loans will go for 10% or below. That depends on Wall Street.
Well, I think in order two things. One, to help these low-income to moderate-income people buy homes, and another would be to stimulate the housing industry that is in the doldrums at the present time.
You think it's going to work?
I think it'll work great things for a lot of people. I really do.
Who is eligible for the low-interest bonds? First, your family income must be less than $31,200, and you must have a good credit rating. Also, you must buy a home in Oklahoma County, and you must meet regular loan requirements. $170 million is available for county residents, and that may be enough for up to 5,000 people to buy or renovate homes. George Ryan, News Center 4.
As a matter of fact, I got on the telephone, and when he came through this wheat field here, he picked up this fence here, and that's probably what saved his life when he drug his fence this far.
You think the fence saved their lives?
Possibly, very possibly, because otherwise looks of this house looked like it hit right into the side of it here, and it would have been a whole lot more damage to the plane than there is now if he'd hit a solid object like that.
Yeah, Jim, how's it going? Pretty good. 26 years. Okay. All right. We'll see you. Bye. For example, if I had retired in 1973 as a Chief Master Sergeant with 26 years in the Air Force, my pay would have been $200 and some more than it will be right now. Retired persons drawn and gotten a larger increase in pay than the person on active duty. 1 year, the retirees received approximately a 15% pay increase. That particular year, we received none.
Thank you very much.
Temporal, trying to be very helpful. This organization that you should emphasize different from the major's interest.
Proposals are as follows. Senator Bellman and Senator Boren introduced a bill.
Personally, we're against it because we think it's unfair. And I know you can't go to court for that reason. But I know that you agree with me that it's unfair, but we have to have some legal grounds. And so we're attacking it on the premise that it is unconstitutional.
To your left, we have the keynote speaker, as it were.
Well, the Arctic presents a major problem in logistics. The oil is up there. This has been a proven fact. Many American oil companies are tying up enormous quantities of money in oil development there, and we have but one outlet, and that's the Alaskan pipeline, and it's running at capacity.
it for now.
It is not a black-white issue. It's not a Chicano or Indian issue. The issue relates to federal officers participating or promoting Klanism within the perimeter of their employment while on duty. I have no objection of anybody becoming a Klansman if that's what he wants to do. By law, he can.
Inmates that would suggest any kind of conflict, racial.
As far as we're concerned, our official stance on it, it was done as a practical joke, and you know, we feel that's where it is.
And I think when you find officers even participating in that type of activity as a joke, I think it should be reprimanded or expelled from their duties. There should be some type of penalty for that activity.
Clint Ake was taken to the Canadian County District Court for the first day of his trial today. He is accused in the shooting death of Reverend Richard Douglas and his wife Marilyn, in addition to being charged with shooting with intent to kill the Douglases' children. Both children were in court today. 13-year-old Leslie Douglas took the stand for the prosecution first. She testified that Ake, along with his companion Stephen Hatch, entered the family's Okarche home with guns last October 15th. Afterwards, she told the jury that Ake is the man who then shot and killed her mother and father, once he and Hatch had tied up the entire family. Next to testify was her 16-year-old brother, Brooke. He told the court of how Ake threatened the family with a gun before shooting all four, and how the house was ransacked looking for money. Brooke stated that after he and his sister were shot, the gunmen assumed they were also dead, but both managed to get to a neighbor's home for help. The defense should present its side of the case tomorrow. Defense attorneys may call about 5 witnesses, mainly to testify on Ake's sanity. So far, Ake has not spoken to his attorneys in his own defense, and his lawyers say that's their biggest problem. Ed Stewart, News Center 4.
About two years ago, the near full 39 passengers have 40 public transportation. Many other cities in the past need for funding public transportation encouraging.
I have here a petition signed by nearly 450 citizens of Moore who say they want this bus to continue. I'd like to present it to the board now. Council now. I care about more than they care. Give us our bus back.
Do we want to sit in Moore and be known as a contributor to the welfare fund, but not having or but not letting some of the people, handicapped people, ride this bus to Moore? Without it, some of them will not be employed. Do we want to contribute to the welfare fund? Thank you, Don. Mr. Mayor.
District. It's financed in Texas, went for a penny sales tax. And in fact, what's going to be your position then?
Okay, I cannot speak, but let me say this, and I'll go on record as saying, if the first month eats up that $500, People are still buying an awful lot of gold. People still want a gold wedding band. People still appreciate gold. And people are interested in seeing something that they can enjoy wearing, that they can have for many, many years, and still see it appreciate in value.
Well, I mowed my yard before it got daylight, and then I stayed in the shade all the rest of the day.
Mainly stayed where it was air conditioned. Just went from one place to another where it was air conditioned to keep cool. That's it. A day like today, we're from out of town, but it gets hot at home. Not quite like this.
I was swimming.
The weapons system officer operates the radar in the air-to-air environment, and a lot of times that gets the missiles off. Also, he operates the radar for the sophisticated weaponry. And it's a dual-seat concept. You talk back and forth, and if you don't have enough, you can't fly the airplanes. We definitely would like to get anyone in the local area who has had any flying experience, anyone out of college who can pass a physical. They would be qualified to come and fly. They would have to go through about 14 months of training had they not flown previously.
Cool, calm, proud, for the highest in growth, economic, and truly good old days are not yesterday's. They're the ones that are still ahead of us. That was another first. We hosted every summer to a fish fry. Chancellor, and we were successful. Then now Senator Bourne, then Governor.